Good evening, guys. So I am here just doing some emails. Anyways, I just wanted to come on here and just talk a little bit about because today while I was talking to my new client, having conversation, and I just realized how lucky I am to be doing what I'm doing. But I didn't feel lucky when I was going through everything I needed to get through to get to where I am now. And it just really hit me. Everything in my life, really. Every time I thought my life was over, when I got my first DUI. Well, I say first. I only got one DUI, but then I got pulled over again because I was driving on a suspended license. So I went to jail twice. But the first time I went to jail, hey, what's up, Lee? Glad you made it. But yeah, the first time I went to jail, I thought my life was over. And I cursed God. I felt like Jonah in the whale of the belly. I just felt like I was being punished. For what? For trying to be helpful, trying to getting woken out of bed at 3 a.m. to go pick up a drunk friend and take him home. And I got busted for DUI. Anyways, I was upset. I was angry. I just thought my life was over. I was thinking, who's going to want to hire me now? You know? And so, but the thing is, I realized had I not gone to jail, and then I would have went to the army. I would have went to the Navy, and then I would have never met my wife. Which now, right now, it may seem like oh no, but the thing is, I would have never had my children. I would have never became a dog groomer. All of these things lined up. When I lost my business, I just felt like I felt scared. I honestly thought I was gonna go to jail because I didn't think that I thought that if you go in debt that much, you end up going to jail, right? Um, Shoot, I got this drummer over here. Anyways, so I remember just having this panicked feeling all the time, just feeling like any day now a sheriff's gonna come to my house and tell me, you're going to jail, for being in debt so much, right? And also it was just so hard, trying to start back over, trying to feed my kids, feeling scared, not having enough, things like that. It was just really a hard time. But I realized I had to go through all of that to gain the skills I have now. And also, my clients, they saw how I was willing to go out of business. I was not willing to compromise what I believed in and how I treated their pets and the quality of the grooms. They saw how much I cared, and I could tell them, like how much I cared and all this nice stuff, but they had to see it. They had to see that I was willing to go through all of that and not give up. And so now I have the business that I have now. And what I'm going with all of this is that I used to think that I was the most unlucky person in the world. Even this divorce with my wife, I really feel grateful now that everything happened the way it did because, I'm no longer in a relationship where, you know, I feel, um, you know, just I feel bad, I'm out of that. And also, I realized that I was, I really need to thank her for helping me become more resilient, and also gain more control over my emotions because I was very emotional, and I would lose my temper, I would get mad and raise my voice, and now because of everything that I've been going through, I really have gotten a better handle on my emotions and not allowing my emotions to control me or allowing myself to react to things that are being said about me or anything, um, I become more tolerant, more empathetic. Here's the thing. I used to be very judgmental about people who went through divorce. I was just thinking, "Ugh, why, you know, you can't just take the easy way out. You have to work it out. You have to, try to keep working it out. You can't just give up on a relationship, especially if you have kids and stuff." And I realize now, there is no right answer, and relationships are complex, and I have more empathy towards people now. You know, um, I just it's almost I almost feel ashamed of how self-righteous I was and how judgmental I was. And so I really feel like everything happens. Life is hard. You know, life is difficult for everybody. And now that I'm having conversations with other people who have grown up in a divorced household and things like that, you know, I realized kids get over it, and even if they don't, they still can become productive people. It kind of helps them become more empathetic and compassionate. And my mom this morning, she actually was telling me life sucks. Yeah, it does. Life can suck, and it sometimes the pain that we feel, the pain that we have to go through, it feels unbearable. It feels like I can't take this anymore. But if we can get past that, if we can get through that, I think that on the other side, you know, is uh, that rewarding feeling, that wow, I got through it. Not only did I get through it, but now I have something even better than I had before. It felt like I lost everything, but now I have this. So my mom this morning, she was telling me, "Do you meditate?" Yeah, Terry, I do. I meditate. I have to. I have to. It really helps me just feel more centered. Sometimes I feel like I'm losing control over my bodily functions. Seriously. Uh, but it always brings a lesson. Yeah, exactly, exactly. And that's the thing. I feel like life is hard. Life is difficult because it's meant to be rewarding. Our time here is meant to be meaningful. And if life was just easy and we just grew up with everything just handed to us, everything just comes so easily. We don't ever have to struggle or face any setbacks or if experience failure, experience the hardships. If we don't have any of those experiences, life would just be too easy, right? And then it wouldn't feel rewarding, right? So I think that's why life is meant to be so difficult. And just like Steve Jobs said, you can't really make sense of it going through it. You can't connect the dots going looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking back, right? So you just have to have faith, like Steve Jobs says. You just have to have faith that one day all the dots will connect. Um, Crystal, a lot of that comes with age. You tend to stop caring about the things you don't really about the things that don't really matter and care more about the things that you should. Yeah. And I mean, yeah, I think as I'm getting older, I am realizing, that life is not so black and white, and there is no right answer. So, for example, my mom this morning, she was telling me, because I showed her the pictures that came up on Facebook Memories, and just seeing my daughter when she was so young, so happy, and my mom and dad holding her, and I told her, man, I just it feels sad, but I told her I'm not gonna allow myself to feel sad anymore about the past. I'm gonna feel grateful that we had those memories with her, that I was able to spend that time with her. I'm gonna feel grateful and leave it in the past and focus on what I have to do today. And my mom goes, I told you, you should have stayed you should have stayed married till she was at least 15. She was like, you know, you should have waited. You shouldn't have divorced her just yet. And I was like, I told my mom, yeah, but at the time I felt like it was the right decision. And I remember feeling like I was in prison, and I felt like I can't stay here anymore. I'm literally gonna die inside, like. And I told my mom, like I really felt like I was making the right decision for the girls, even because I didn't want them seeing us fighting like that all the time. And you know, it was miserable. And my mom goes, "You think I wanted to live with your dad all these years?" Because my mom actually just divorced my dad just a few years ago. And I'm like, what's the point? Why now? But anyways, she goes, you think I wanted to spend my life with your dad? She was like, I always knew I could have had such a better life, without him. But he threatened to keep you boys, my brother and I, and never let me see you boys again. So I stayed. I stayed married to him for you kids. And I told my mom, I know, you reminded us of that all the time. And I told her that's one of the reasons why I thought that I was making the right decision. Because I don't ever want to say that to my girls. I stayed married with your mom. I could have had such a better life, but I stayed miserable and stayed with your mom because of you girls. I was like, I didn't ever want to say that to them because I don't ever want to put that kind of guilt on them. I was like, my brother and I, we feel bad. We feel bad that you had to give up the life that you could have had and you stayed miserable with my father, for us. and now you you divorced him now at the end, but it's like it doesn't even matter, I was like, so I never wanted to blame them or feel resentful towards them that I had to stay married to her for them, and I was like, I thought I was making the right decision, but who knows, maybe I was wrong, and I told my mom, you know I really, and to the point now where I feel like in life there is no right or wrong decision. We all just do the best we can and make the best decisions we can at the moment, and then we just deal with the consequences. We deal with the decisions that we made, you know. And my mom was like, "Yeah, I think you're right. There is no right decision, And I was like, we finally agree, But yeah, I mean, I really think that we just do the best we can with the information we have, and at the moment we just try to make the decision that feels right to us at the time, and then we have to trust that in the end it will all connect, right? um let's see. Pinkie Pie says, sometimes people just need to hear the words, "You're going to be okay." Exactly, exactly. That it's all gonna be okay in the end. You just gotta stick with it. Stay here. Don't leave us. Right. Don't make that decision you know, to end it all because you feel like it's just unbearable. Anyone can bear the burden, no matter how hard it seems. Anyone can bear it for just one more day. And just tell yourself that I can get through just one more day, right? And live your life in day tight compartments. Don't worry about yesterday or the past. Don't worry about the future or tomorrow. Just tell yourself, I can get through anything. No matter how hard it is, I can get through just one more day. Anyone can do anything, no matter how hard it is, for just one day, right? Um, Terry Miller, I started meditating also. It sure does help. Yeah, Dr. Joe Dispenza said, if he's done hundreds and I think thousands of brain scans, and he said that if everyone knew the benefits of meditating, everyone would do it. Lowers blood pressure, your blood pressure. It helps, your immune system. Helps everything. It brings your stress levels down. Helps you focus. But anyways, Crystal says, sometimes we don't understand the lesson in the moment because we get so caught up in everything. But later on, it comes to us why things happen the way they do. Yeah, exactly. Amateur super fan. What's going on? Just joined. No, I just wanted to talk a little bit because I know a lot of people these days are going through a lot of tough times, right? Some people are brave enough to share what they're going through. Most people aren't. Most people just suffer in silence. So what I wanted to do tonight is just give a little bit of hope just from my personal life so far at 38 years old. I know I'm not that old, but if it just depends on how you look at it. If you're talking to a teenager, yeah, I'm old. Um, so just from my personal experiences, every time that I thought my life was over, every time I faced like an overwhelmingly difficult situation, when I got my DUI, when I got put in jail again for driving with a suspended license, when when I lost my business, when I had to drop everything and go out west, and things weren't working out there. Like when I came back and got fired, I quit one position because it didn't feel right, got fired on the next, and I just thought, what am I gonna do now? Like I almost considered going back to working at a liquor store, just stocking shelves, just so I can make some money to provide for my kids. Every time I thought that things couldn't get any worse and that life was just being unfair to me, I guess, I realize now it was setting me up, it was preparing me for the next level, for the next step, right? Just like when you play video games, when you're about to level up, go to the next level, you hit like a boss stage, right? And it gets really hard. And but that just means you're about to level up, you're about to go to the next level. Um let's see here. Lee Riley, no, it's not good for the kids to live with all that strife. Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, I know the kids are disappointed, and I know they're going through hard times. But I been hearing a lot of, I've been researching a lot and reading a lot of biographies and things like that, and just stories of people's lives who have become successful. And not maybe not a lot of them. maybe not, but I don't want to say most of them, but a lot of them, surprisingly enough, come from difficult childhoods. They had a difficult childhood. Sometimes abusive parents, sometimes like narcissistic, controlling, manipulative parents, divorces, sometimes, several divorces. They watch their parents divorce several times. And these kids, even though it caused them so much emotional turmoil when they were younger, they use that and now they're successful. And I have total faith in my kids. I mean, some of the things that my daughters used to tell me, I would be thinking, wow, did that just come out of a child's mind, my child's mind? Like, that's incredible. They're wise beyond their years. And they say some of the most surprisingly profound things. When I had conversations with them and talked with them and asked them what they think about certain things. So I know that my daughters are going to be just fine. It's me that worries about them. But I know that no matter what, when they're older, they're going to be just fine. Um, and they're probably going to be very successful. Um, let's see. The kids will one day understand, even if they don't get it now. My girls still wish I stayed married to their father, but I couldn't do it. He was physically abusive, alcoholic, and they don't remember. Yeah, because we tend to romanticize the past, right? We don't remember all because when I think back to all the good times we had and everything, it's like, oh man, I wish I can go back to those times. I forget about everything else that was happening during that time. One day they will know that I made the best choice for them. You have, and the thing is, even if you didn't, even if you made the best choice for you, there's nothing wrong with that, right? What's wrong with making the best decision for ourselves and taking care of ourselves, making sure that we're okay, so that we can take care of them better, right? Um, Amateur superfan. Damn, I've been single for years because I've been so untrusting of people, but now I see I was right. I mean, being single is nothing. There's nothing wrong with being single, right? I'm actually really enjoying it. I mean, I'm busy. I wake up, I walk my dogs, I go to work, I come back, I do some laundry, whenever I have to, do some yard work whenever I have time. Cook myself some dinner, do emails, do all the admin stuff, and then go to bed. Wake up next day, same thing. And these days, because it's been like that, I just haven't had time to go to the gym, and it's been showing. Like it's been showing. Life is. I like how honest life keeps us because I can say I've been going to the gym regularly, but it doesn't show, right? I can't honestly say it, and it would make me look like a liar. I think when you're actually doing what you're supposed to be doing, you don't actually have to announce it to people. When I was going to the gym regularly, I really didn't have to say anything. My clients even noticed. They were like, "Oh my God, June, you're looking great." Now these days they don't they don't say that anymore, because obviously I'm not going to the gym. But yeah, I mean, and that's why I like grooming so much too, dog grooming, because I feel like it's such an honest job. It's such honest work. Because the dogs aren't gonna lie for you. And when you spent the time and you actually did a really thorough job combing the dog out, getting all that dead hair out and everything, and now they feel so silky soft and like a soft cloud. There's no way to fake it. There's no way to get that using a product, unless you actually are willing to go in there and take the time and effort and do it. And so yeah, I like how honest life keeps us, and it is difficult because it's meant to be rewarding. When you do the difficult things, you feel rewarded. Um, Lee Raleigh, that's what I challenged myself on Tuesday, the day I finally said I'm done, but I knew the next day would be better. Yeah, Lee. Wow. And I'm so glad. I'm so glad you reached out to me, and I'm sure you reached out to other people as well. Like, Lee, we need you here. Just stay at least that one more day. Like you said, just tell yourself, I can get through this just one day. You know, if anybody out there is considering the worst, right? Please just tell yourself, like, just put it off for one more day. I'll do it tomorrow, right? And then when you go to bed and wake up, if you don't feel any better, then tell yourself again, I can get through this for just one more day. Put it off another day. You know, just keep putting it off another day. And you know, like, and then you'll realize like I can do this. I got this. You know. Pinkie Pie says it's like that quote: "Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, today is a gift." That's why it's called the present. Exactly, exactly. And today is all we have. You know. Dale Carnegie. I really like his quote: "Today is the tomorrow you were worried about yesterday." Right. So, and don't worry about tomorrow, you know, because even the future is you know, we're never going to experience the future, because even when the future comes, it's in the present. We're always just experiencing a continuously changing moment of now, right? Um, let's see. Amateur Superfan. That's from the Panda movie, right? Great movie. Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly because I've heard that quote before. I love your bravery to share, Jane. Thank you. I mean, I just realized everyone knows I'm not perfect now. There's no need to pretend, you know? And it's okay to be a mistake maker, right? It's okay to be a mistake maker. And I mean, how can I learn if I'm not willing to make mistakes, right? And it's okay not to be perfect and to have flaws, you know. I realized like what was I so scared of, you know? I was scared of people saying I thought June was a good guy, and I realized maybe I'm not, and that's okay. You know, I just have to realize and be able to accept maybe I'm not that great of a guy. Maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was. And that's okay. Because now that I'm aware of it, I can start actually working on myself, you know? But if I can't work on myself and improve and try to become a better person, if I feel no need to, right? If I feel like, oh no, I'm a great person, I'm a great guy, well, maybe I'm not, you know? Oh, actually, it's pretty apparent, it's pretty obvious that I'm not, you know? Lord, hi June. Thanks for the good energy, man. Mang, nice. By the way, you're 38 years young. Oh, nice. Good way to look at it. Pinkie Pie's amateur superfan. Yes, it's from the Panda movie. Is it Kung Fu Panda? And you know what? I really like that line from Kung Fu Panda where that turtle guy, that's the master sensei. Um, he was like, he was stepping on the panda, right? And and he was like, "How is this helping me?" And he said, "It's not. You're helping me." And then he I think he threw him a rope or something, right? I can't remember exactly the scene, but he was like, "But by helping me, now I can help you. So by helping me, you're helping yourself, right?" Anyways, the idea is when we help others, we're actually helping ourselves. You know, that's why it's good to share. It's good to try to be helpful to others, right? And that's why I'm doing this. I want to try to be helpful to others because I feel like that's what makes my life feel like it's meaningful. It's worth living. Um, Crystal, I love how raw you get and talk about your struggles. I can relate to your ups and downs, but no one talks about that. It helps hearing about how other people are real too. Exactly, exactly. Your girls are so smart. Yeah, I think so too, but I may be biased, you know. Terry, I think kids still have that awe and wonder of the world to see through the eyes, to see through the eyes we as adults forget about. Mm-hmm. Have that awe and wonder I meant. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the world is still full of possibilities to them, you know? And I, yeah, I tell myself don't worry about them. I still text my older daughter because you know my younger daughter's phone number got cut off. But anyways, um, I sent her a text this morning, you know, and I sent her a text this evening, and I realized I'm not sending them a text message to try to get a response. You know, that would be, you know, I learned like just let go of all your expectations of what others need to do or should do or how they're supposed to behave or anything like that. Now I just send her a text message, you know, hey, good morning. I love you girls. I'm thinking about you. I hope you have a great day. You know, I hope you girls had a great day. Hope you have a good night. I love you. And that's it. It's like I realize I'm not doing it to try to get any kind of response from them or reply or anything. I don't need any of that. I'm doing it just to let them know I'm thinking about you and I love you and I care about you. That's it. You know? And it's like unconditional love, right? Is I love you just because. That's it. Not I love you because you did this, or I love you because you did that, or I love you because you behaved in a way that I approve of. No, that's conditional love. And it's like I realize now, the way I want to love my children is I love you just because, period. You know, you don't have to do anything to earn it. You already got it. Um, let's see here. Amateur superfan. Sometimes I write in a journal just to remember so that I can live for years and try to remember and pull out that old journal and remember what it's like. Yeah, exactly. And sometimes when I go back and read my journal, I'm like, oh yeah, wow, I forgot about that. Um, Crystal Corey, Terry, is adults can have that again if we uncondition ourselves and go back to that mindset all over again. Yeah, just have that curiosity, and that wonder and that excitement for life. Um, Amateur Super, hey Lee, how's it going over in Chicago, by the way? And Lee says, oh, I'm in California. Been going good. Uh, Terry, I agree, Crystal, completely. Mm-hmm. Pinkie Pie says, honestly, grooming saved my life. I was so depressed, and I honestly don't think I would have made it through that prior year. I immersed myself in grooming, and it was the best thing I ever did. Awesome. Yeah, for real, me too. I love the work that I do. I feel, and the thing is, especially after I worked at Petco and came back, I realize now that I'm offering something that's extremely valuable to my clients. I'm giving them another option that they wouldn't have had, and they value. I'm doing meaningful work that actually is making a difference, right? And that's what I want. Simon Sinek, he did like well, I don't know if he conducted the study or if he was just reporting on the study that was done, but they asked several professionals in all different kinds of industries, professional industries, and they asked them, um, you know, what brings you fulfillment, job fulfillment, and almost none of them said that it was their paycheck. I think it was none of them. I think the pay was like one of the least um, factors of job fulfillment. What it was overwhelmingly was the people that they work with. They enjoy the people that they work with. They feel like they're working on interesting projects that are that are meaningful to them. They feel valued and important, in their jobs, in their company. These are the things that make us feel fulfilled in our work, feeling like we're actually doing something that's meaningful, doing something that is helpful to others, that is valuable to someone else, and liking the people that we're working with. These are the things that bring job fulfillment. It's not really the pay. Um, let's see here. Now, Pinkie Pie says, now I'm happy, carefree, and my life is full of happy fur babies to love and cuddle. Nice. And I love feeling like that I did something artistic. And okay, so here's the thing. Seth Godin defines an artist as not someone who paints or sings or does, what we would consider the arts. He was saying anybody can be an artist. The receptionist who goes out of her way to make people feel welcome and help, make people feel warm, and she's friendly because she really wants people to feel like they're being cared for. She was like, that receptionist is an artist. And he's saying what makes art is that it has to be generous in nature, and there's a feeling of vulnerability. You're putting yourself out there, right? He's saying these are the things that make art. The example that he gives is that there's a city in China called Dafan. And in Dafan, these painters pump out paintings all day long. You can buy the Mona Lisa for $30 there, but it's not the Mona Lisa. It's a replica. So these painters in Dafan in China, they're talented, they're skilled, but they're not artists. Why? Because they're not creating anything new. They're not doing anything meaningful to somebody. There's no generosity in their work. They're not taking a risk. There's no vulnerability, because they're doing something that they know already works. They know the Mona Lisa is gonna sell. They're not creating something and offering it up to the world with a generous nature and saying, I made this, I hope you like it. And that vulnerability, knowing that it's very possible that people might say no, We don't like it, it's not for me. That's what makes an artist, someone who's willing to take that risk, and someone who's willing to put themselves out there wholeheartedly. And their work, it has the nature of their work is generosity. It's generous in nature. So I feel like an artist, seriously. And so are you, Pinkie Pie. Terry, that's how I'm working to be towards everyone and anyone. I love you just because. Exactly. Like, it's not because you're this or that, or you look this way, or or you did this for me. I love you just because. You know. Crystal LaCroix. When I tell my kids I love you, it doesn't matter if I hear it back from them. Some parents need to hear them repeat back to make it mean something for them. Yeah, and even when I'm on the phone with them, I say, like, I love you so much, and it's quiet. And sometimes my younger daughter will say, okay. And I just laugh, and I tell them, all right, well, I hope you have a good night. Like you said, I don't have to hear it back from them. I don't need them to love me back the way I love them. I'm still going to love them. um, Amateur superfan. I told my Asian coworker your joke. She didn't laugh. Yeah, it was not a good joke. It's not a funny joke. I already told you. I thought we established that. Lee Raleigh, it wasn't my paycheck because it was a joke. It was helping kids that made it worthwhile. Yes, feeling like you're doing something that's really helping, really making an impact on someone else's life, right? That's what really makes you feel fulfilled. Grooming is a meditative type of thing for me. Me too. I focus on my breathing. I focus on my body posture. It's like your mind and body are working as one, and totally focused on this one task, and it's like, and when you're done, it's like, oh my God, I feel so wonderful, and the dog is happy, the owner's happy, and it's like, I just created this moment of happiness for the dog and the owner, for everyone to enjoy with the work of my own hands, and really it came from my mind, right? Because I have to remind myself, it's not my hands, deciding to move the scissors and do all that. It's my mind. It's my mind telling my hands to scissor this way or do this, It all comes from our mind. Our minds are so beautiful and powerful, you know, if you really think about it. That's why Napoleon Hill says, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. I really like that. Conceive, believe, achieve. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. The mind is a powerful thing. Amateur superfan. I got yelled at today because I did a good job on a groom when they wanted a messy face. Yeah, well, I mean, I get it. Some people do want that scruffy face, that scruffy look. I remember one client of mine. She was like, "He just looks too frou-frou. I don't like that, like too frou-frou." But yeah, so we have to respect what the client wants, right, and be able to adapt, our skills and what we do to what they're asking for. And I always tell them, if they do tell me that they didn't really like the groom, I always tell them, like, just let me know what we can change for next time, and we'll work towards achieving that perfect look that you want. Crystal Corey, amateur superfan. What? Seriously? LOL. Yes. He asked me to make a note on his count. Exactly. And I like that, because it's, again, being okay with not being perfect, being okay with making a mistake and saying, oh, I thought this is what you would like. I'm sorry, and just let me know, and next time, I'll try to hit that mark, right? But yeah, I mean, how can we get better, without some sort of starting point? It's like, okay, this is a starting point. Then this isn't what you wanted. Okay, so now for next time, if I'm understanding you right, this is what I'll do for next time. Lee Raleigh, I wonder if those painters do that for money and then paint what they want in their off time. From what I understand, from what Seth Godin was saying, they wake up, they paint, pump out as many paintings as they can, and they're done for the day. So they are painters. They're skilled, talented painters. They're not artists, right? And so I feel the same way with grooming dogs. When you go to work and your main objective is to groom as many dogs as you possibly can, you're a skilled, talented groomer, but you're not an artist, right? You're not creating something new and different and individualized and taking a risk, and there's not that sense of generosity in your work, doing more than what the client expected of you. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Of course, if you're a groomer who power grooms and does a bunch of dogs a day, don't come at me. Don't come at me, bro. I mean, you do you. I'm just saying. This is all just my opinion. And I feel like, you know, when I catch myself, feeling like I'm just doing it for the money, I don't feel like an artist anymore. Um, Crystal LaCroix, my girls do the same thing on the phone. I just make sure that they do hear me, but not in a way where they feel obligated to say it back to me. Nice, Crystal. I'm at that, and that's exactly where I am too. Pinkie Pie, and eat cheese. Terry, being so chill and calm when grooming helps the doggies too. They often match our energy. Yeah, exactly. Cheese. I love cheese. Oh my God. Sometimes I'll go to Kroger and buy like those little blocks of cheese that they cut up, and I'll just eat it. I'll just eat the whole thing. Anyways, Crystal, I'm sorry I did such a good job. Next time I won't try so hard. Yeah. Ellie, yeah, that's why I don't sell my knitting. It's for pleasure. Mm-hmm. I mean, but you could start selling your knitting. I mean, and that's the thing. It's like if you put it out into the world, like, hey, I made this for whoever, you know, likes it, and this is the price I set for it. There is that sense of vulnerability. That feeling that people might reject it and say, no, I don't think it's worth that much, or I don't want to. But then you might find somebody who says, oh my God, I love that, and I'll pay double for what I'll pay double what you're charging for it. Um, it's hard though. As an artist, it's really tough to put a price on your work. I get that. Amateur super. Literally, I'm not going to touch the face. Maybe the eyes. Yeah, yeah, and hey, easier for you, right? Shoot. But yeah, speaking about pricing, I'd like to share a really quick. How was it waking up today after yesterday's live stream? It was it was good. I mean, yeah, I woke up pretty feeling pretty good. I woke up and got my dogs to walked them around, let them play in the dog park for a little bit, got them fed, cooked myself some breakfast, went to my new client's house. And I gotta admit, I was feeling a little nervous because anytime I take a new client on, it's that uncertainty. I don't know what to expect. But I'm getting more comfortable these days. Yeah, getting more comfortable with feeling uncomfortable. Um, but yeah, here's a really quick thing about pricing, right? When you're trying to figure out how to price your work, um, especially when you feel like you're putting everything you have into it, and this is work that you really care about. So this was in Chambly when I was trying to get my business back together, and after I went out of business in Buckhead, and I found this house that we can work out of. Anyways, one of my clients, she told me, June, I think you should charge a little bit more. And I was like, oh my God, but what if I lose all my customers? But she was like, but you're already struggling. And I was like, yeah, but if I raise my prices and I lose the clients that I do have, then I'll really be struggling. I'll be really be in trouble. And she goes, let me tell you about my friend. So she has a friend who has a bakery, and it's just a very like small batch bakery. She now delivers all over the world. She ships her bread out to internationally now, and they're doing fantastic. But before her friend was about to go bankrupt. Her friend was about to lose the bakery. And the reason was because she was pricing her bread at $5-6 a loaf. And at $5-6 a loaf, it was too expensive for the people who don't really care that much. They're just looking for some good bread, and they can go to the grocery store and get it for like $1.50, $2. So at twice the price, $5 or $6, she wasn't getting a lot of people who were willing to pay that. Now, the people who really do care about quality bread made in small batches, quality ingredients, right? They're looking for bread, that's $9, $12 a loaf. And she was saying, you got to raise your prices to between $9 and $12. And her friend was like, then I'm gonna lose the customers I already have, and I'm gonna lose my business. And her friend told her, you're already about to lose your business. You're about to go bankrupt. You have maybe a few more months, and you're gonna have to close your doors. So she was telling her, since you're already about to lose your business, why not try it? Just try it before you're finally done. And so her friend saw the reasoning in that, like, yeah, she might have a month or two left that she can continue doing business like this, but then she's just going to have to shut her doors. She's going to go bankrupt. So she raised her prices to not between $9 and $12 a loaf. Now, all of a sudden, she has a thriving business. And here's why. Because she priced herself right in the middle. So the people who really value that high quality bread, they're looking for $9, $12, $10, that kind of price point for their bread. She was under their radar. They didn't even notice her because her price was between $5 and $6, not $9, $12, what they are usually looking for with that quality bread. But it was overpriced for the people who were looking for a value, right? So she was right in the middle, right where no one cares. The people who look for value and they care about getting the most for their dollar, they still want good bread, but they don't want to pay that much for it, right? The people who do want to pay a lot for their bread because they value that quality, they don't want to pay, close to So she was right there in the middle where no one cared. So by raising her prices, having the courage to lose the customers that she has to get the higher quality customers who really value her quality of bread, she raised her prices between $9 to $12. Now she has a thriving business because now she's on their radar. They're looking for that price point, and now they find her. So that really gave me the courage to raise my prices to attract the kind of people who are looking to pay more for their dog grooming, who aren't looking for the value. And if I charge just a little bit more, maybe everyone's charging $30, $40 for a Shih Tzu, $45 for a Shih Tzu. If I charge $60, which I was, $60, $70, I'm right there in the middle, just beyond the people who are looking for that value and just under the people who are willing to pay $100, $120. They're not looking at this 60, so I'm right there in the middle where no one gives a shit, And so now I raise my prices to $100, $120 for a Shih Tzu, and now I'm getting the kind of clients who are not only willing to pay that, but they see the value in it. They're so happy and appreciative, and they tip on top. They pay more, It's like, but I wouldn't even be on their radar if I continue charging just a little more, maybe twice, if everyone's charging 45, I'll charge 60, 70, and it's like, no, because then you're right there in the middle where you're too expensive for the value seekers, and you're not priced high enough for the people who are looking for that kind of quality, Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that was helpful, because it really helped me. Let's see here. Lee Raleigh. I've done it, but the clients are never happy. If someone expresses an interest, I just make it for them as a surprise. Wow. You're a true artist. Struggling art. What do they call it? The man, I can't think of the word now. Oh man, the tortured artist, isn't that Terry Miller, yeah, pricing. I'm grappling with pricing, and I do house call as well. So Terry, I hope that example helps you as much as it helped me. Amateur super friend, damn, that's some super real advice about pricing. That's a good friend right there. Yeah, right. Lee Raleigh, knitting is my therapy, and when I sell it, it becomes a drag, and I don't enjoy it. I get that. I can get that at Target for $3. No appreciation for the time, skill that goes into making them. Exactly. And that's the thing. It's like, well, then go get it at Target, You're not gonna find something like this. This is unique. This is something that I created with my own hands. Like, it came from my heart. Like, if they can't value that, then yeah, maybe don't give it to them. um, Pinkie Pie, yes, quality versus quantity. You can't get that filet mignon at Taco Bell. Exactly. And even if they market it and they say, hey, we got the filet mignon burrito, I'd be like, at Taco Bell? Yeah, right. um, let's see. Crystal Corey, we were going to start a business. My husband was worried nothing would sell and asked what we should do if that happened. I said if it didn't sell, then we were just marketing to the wrong crowd. Exactly, exactly. Lee Riley, too cheap isn't good. People think it's not a quality item. Yeah, exactly. A starving artist. Yeah, starving artist. Is that right? Terry Miller was great. Thanks so much, June. Oh, you're welcome, Terry. Lee Riley. That's what I'd say. Uh huh. That's what you said. Oh, about Taco Bell. Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, right. Filet mignon at Taco Bell. Psh, I ain't gonna fall for that. But anyways, yeah. Hopefully this stream was helpful. I really, I see a lot of people, and I think maybe I'm a little bit more sensitive to it now because I'm going through it, and I see how I try to hide it. I see how I put on a happy face and a smile, even though I feel like I'm just suffering inside. Like I feel so like I just feel a feeling of despair sometimes. I feel hopeless and I feel so sad and I feel like I feel scared that it's only going to get worse, and that I feel scared that I'm not going to be able to handle it, but I realize we can, all of us have the strength to get through one more day, no matter how hard things get, no matter how sad you may be feeling, no matter how scared you may be feeling. All of these things, no matter how much you might be feeling these negative feelings that just take over, and it feels like your chest is heavy, you can't breathe, it feels like your stomach, your just gut is sinking, and you feel shaky, sometimes sweaty, like you just feel like I'm not sure if I can get through this, it just feels like I feel like it's just overwhelming, it's unbearable. Just remind yourself, yes, you can. You can get through it one more day. Anybody can get through anything, no matter how hard it is, for just one more day, right? And then the next day, just tell yourself again, today I have another opportunity to do the very best I possibly can with each task that's put in front of me, and just do all the little things that you can do. So the other day, I've been putting it off and putting it off. I hear my dog's nails clicking. I know their nails are getting longer, but I just tell myself, I gotta walk them, I gotta feed them, I gotta get to work. I don't want to be late, to my client's house, and then I get home. It's like I gotta walk them before it gets too late. I gotta feed them, I gotta cook dinner for myself. I got all these other things to do, and I just keep putting it off. But yesterday, I was like, no. Before they got in the car, before we went on the walk, I got my nail clippers. I clipped each one of their nails and filed them before they got in the car. And I was like, okay, done. Get in the car. And then next, get in the car. And while I was walking them and not hearing their nails click anymore, I just felt really proud of myself. I felt good, It's like, because I knew I didn't put it off another day. I tackled it. I did the little thing. I mean, it's something so small, just like taking care of my dog's nails. But by doing it and not putting it off another day, it really did help me feel better. It made me feel good, There's a little table in my room where, I cook like vegetables and stuff like that, and I eat at night sometimes. Um, and I feel a little bit better myself because I'm eating vegetables late at night, not crackers and Cheez-Its. But anyways, I just kind of let it all kind of pile and sit there for a little bit, for a day or two, and honestly, it did something to me inside. Leaving the room every morning, looking at it, and knowing that I'm just leaving the mess there. So the other day, kind of organized all the clutter, cleaned it up, took the dishes downstairs, washed it all, did the dishes, and it made me feel much better. It made me feel good about myself, and that's where the self-esteem comes from, right? Feeling proud of yourself, respecting yourself, self-respect, that builds self-confidence, and self-confidence builds self-esteem, so um no, get it at Target. Oh yeah, exactly. 1 minute at a time, exactly. Amateur super fan. June is definitely the Yoda of grooming. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm really not. I'm really a mess up. I'm really a fuck up if you think about it. I mean, I lost my business. I went in debt. I had to close my doors. Um, yeah, I failed miserably. My first attempt. Back in 2012 when I opened up my shop, and I closed my doors like in 2014, 2014, going into 2015. And then, yeah, I mean, and then I opened up my own, you know, grooming in my home, a grooming shop out of the house I was renting. And I struggled a lot. But then we finally got it up and going, and then once we were kind of, you know, on a good we were getting bills paid. We were starting to get back on our feet. We had to go out west. Oh man, and then things didn't work out there. I was working at a shop. I was managing this one location, and then we had to shut down because the health department came, and it turns out she never got her shop inspected by the health department, and so they shut us down. I'm like, what am I gonna do now? But anyways, just a lot of stuff. Mistake after mistake. But hey, it's okay. It's okay to be a mistake maker, because what's his Maxwell Maltz. He wrote Psycho-Cybernetics. He says we're all mistake makers, but we're also mistake breakers, right? We can start to break those mistakes that we make. They'll break the habit of making those mistakes, because as we make those mistakes, if we're able to admit that we made a mistake, if we're able to own it, then we can really examine what led to those mistakes and what led to those failures, and we can start becoming better, right? Um, let's see. Crystal Core, I hate pricing my work. I once took a commission project that took weeks to complete, and going back and forth with the quote-unquote friend to make a blown glass bead necklace and earring set, and made the beads from scratch. No matter what I did, it wasn't good enough for her. But she finally took the last set I made and didn't even pay me for it. Oh my god, I was so mad. Yeah, literally. But look at you now. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, I'm going through a divorce. I'm all alone. I'm all alone. Nobody wants me. I'm just kidding. But I mean, I at least I have consistent work, and as a freelance artist, what more could you expect, right? What more could you want? But consistent work. I have consistent work. I'm busy. I'm doing well. I'm starting to get back on my feet financially, and I'm able to, meet all my financial obligations now. I'm able to put some money aside. I mean, so I'm doing well in that area. But and in my personal life too, I realize, it's okay. It's okay to realize that, when a relationship has come to its end, rather than keep trying to force it to work, and it's just, I think it's okay to realize that maybe two people are not a good fit for each other anymore. Maybe we used to be, but as time went on, maybe we've grown into different people, and we want different things out of life now, and we don't really agree a lot, and you know just the conversations were very unproductive, and it just the chemistry wasn't there anymore. And so yeah, I just feel like maybe, and this is all a good thing, it's really helped me become more empathetic. I feel more connected with people. I feel less judgmental, you know and also it really made me look at myself, and like, these are some of the flaws that I have, and I really need to work on controlling that emotion, getting upset, getting angry at what people say about me, especially the people I care about. No matter what they say, no matter what they think, understanding that they're allowed to have those opinions. They're allowed to think whatever they want of me. It's not my job to change how they feel about me, And there's no need to get angry or upset or lose my temper, And I realize that now. I feel like I'm becoming a better person because of all this. Amateur superfan. Well, yeah. Well, Yoda let all of his Jedi Padawans get killed by Darth Vader, so you're doing better than him. Yeah, that's true, right? Shoot. Crystal LaCroix, doing work for others and pricing my work like that just gave me a bad experience for making things for others. Yeah, I understand. I mean, because yeah, you feel like I put a lot of work and I put my heart into this, Like how do you price that? And then for someone to say, it's not worth it, I don't think it's worth it. It's like, ooh, but that's what Seth Godin is talking about. That's what makes an artist, that willingness to make yourself vulnerable, knowing that your work might get rejected, but doing it anyways because it's in your heart to do. Pinkie Pie. Okay, well now I feel guilty about not doing the dishes. LOL. I didn't mean to make you feel guilty, but like I said, I felt guilty too because I just let it. I just kept pushing it off, making excuses. But it's doing the little things we know we can do, that makes a big difference. Um, Business is doing well. Exactly, Crystal. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, and also I've given up the fear of what others will think. Even tonight I was thinking, I already streamed last night, and I was like, I think people are getting tired of me, and I was like, I don't want to just keep, like, but then I was thinking to myself, but this is something I want to talk about, you know, this is something that I really want to do. I want to talk about this, even if it's just to help one or two people that might be struggling right now, And I was thinking to myself, okay, well then I don't care what people think, you know? I don't care what people think anymore. They can say whatever they want about me. That's on them. And that's their business. It's not my business. And I was thinking, well then I'm just gonna do it. I'm here, I got my laptop, I'm just gonna do it, And so yeah, I ain't getting tired of these convos. Oh, thank you, amateur superfan. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I understand some people, they just, they get tired of me, and I don't blame them, but for the people who this conversation is meaningful to, I'm glad, I'm happy. It makes me feel like it was worth it, um but I understand if you don't want to talk to me, you and many others. Oh, don't say that, amateur superfan. What are you talking about? Terry Miller, OMG, June, please don't think we get tired of you. Oh my goodness. Well, I wouldn't blame you though. I wouldn't blame anyone that does get tired of me. But, I was just thinking like, you know what? Some people may be tired of me. This might, I might be streaming too much. I might be coming on here too much. And, but I was like, but this is something that's meaningful to me. And this is something that I want to talk about, and I want to be helpful, and I want to share some of my experiences that really helped me through some tough times to maybe give some hope to someone who's going through a really difficult time right now, So, yeah, I mean, I was like, I just told myself, stop feeling so scared about what other people might say and just do it. And understanding that someone might say some very hurtful things, and they might say, that I'm just being an attention seeker and all this stuff that, it does hurt my feelings when I hear those things. But I just told myself, why let that stop me from doing something that I really want to do, Um, Lee Raleigh, and when you do these, pretty much every time I learn something, usually about myself. Wow, thank you, Lee. Crystal LaCroix says, the ones who find worth in our conversations will come back, and the ones who don't won't. Exactly. And to try to control that behavior would be the definition of manipulation, right? To try to control anyone else's behavior, I remember one time when I was at the coin laundry, this lady, she was just, she was just being so horrible to her kids, cursing at them, and her daughter must have been maybe 9, the younger son looked like he was maybe 5 or 6, and here she is, like 1 o'clock in the morning, yelling at them, cursing at them, and I just because they're not doing this, they're not doing that, and I told you, it's like I just kept breathing and just closing my eyes, and I just kept repeating to myself, I am not the fixer of things. I am not the fixer of things. Like, don't get involved, because I really knew, like, I'm not going to change that lady's behavior towards her kids, and by me trying to get involved, I might even make things worse. So I just kept telling myself, I'm not the fixer of things. Um, yeah, and just letting go of the need to try to change anyone else's behavior. I'm not going to. Um, Amateur Superfan. It's kind of cool to see the regulars too. It's like cheers up in here. Yeah. Yeah, right. Sometimes you want to go. Anyways, Pinkie Pie. And we appreciate you sharing your thoughts and knowledge. Thank you so much, Pinkie Pie. I really appreciate that. And I love sharing. I mean, yeah, right? I mean, what did they say? I think it was like a love quote. Love is something that you get more of the more you share it, right? But I think it's true. Like, anything that feels good, love, happiness, hope, joy. The more we share it with others, the more we get ourselves. Um, Terry Miller, I agree with you, Lee. It's awesome, June, to know that I'm not alone in how I'm feeling about things, professionally or personally. Very helpful. Awesome, Terry. And just know, whatever it is you're going through, you're gonna get through it. You know, it's gonna be okay. And I realize now, I used to consider myself the most unluckiest person in the world, because I was like, man, Bob Proctor, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins. I was like, man, you guys are full of shit. Like, I should have known better than to listen to you guys. You said do more than what you're getting paid to do to make an investment in your own future. Always do more. Always put your heart into it, and do more for others. Be generous. And I was like, man, I busted my ass for what? I could have sat on the couch eating Doritos, and I wouldn't have gone in debt that much. I lost my shop. I lost, a ton of money. I started in debt. I started with borrowed money, and it's like now. And so I just thought, man, I should have known better than to listen to these guys, these quacks, right? I mean, they got me, right? And I was like, man, I feel like such a fool. I'm so unlucky. I really did. I believed it. I really put my heart into it. I worked as hard as I possibly could. And for what? Just to go in debt, to lose my business, and, just lose my car to the bank twice. They repoed my car. Two different cars, of course. But anyways, yeah, I was just thinking, I'm the most unlucky person in the world. I'm the unluckiest person in the world. That's really what I thought. But now, looking back at it, Steve Jobs was right. All the dots connect. I wouldn't have the clients I have now had I not gone through that. They had to see me go through that to trust me enough to invite me in their homes. And now, and take me by the hand, just like Jim Rohn said. Jim Rohn said, if you will just forget about the money and just serve your clients to the best of your ability, right? Exceeding their expectations and doing it with a generous heart, they will take you by the hand and open doors for you that you never could have opened yourself. You never could have even imagined for yourself. And it's true. It really is true in my life. They literally took me by the hand and introduced me to people that I never would have been able to meet on my own, and it's changed my life. So, yeah, just have faith that no matter how hard the situation is, your heart will get broken, your dreams will get shattered, things will not work out the way you planned. But just know that it's because there's a bigger, better plan for you, right? And a lot of times when you feel like doors are being shut, doors are being slammed in your face, all the doors these doors of opportunity that you really want, they're getting closed on you, right? Just tell yourself, it's because it's leading me down the hall to the penthouse, right? These doors are closing so that I won't waste my time, and I'll keep going to the end of the hall, to the corner office, to the big office, to the penthouse, to the big suite, because that's where I'm meant to be, So these doors are closing for my own good. It's leading me to even better place, right? Um, let's see, Crystal. I don't judge other parents out there because it's only a very small glimpse of their lives that you witness. So you don't know if they're just having a tough moment and it's just so happen to be. Exactly. I'm becoming a much more empathetic, I realize now how judgmental I used to be. I didn't even know how judgmental I was, how self-righteous I was, you know? Oh, that's for them. I would never get divorced. But now that I'm going through it, I realize like, wow, going through a divorce doesn't make you a bad person. It just makes you human, you know? And it's part of the human experience, I guess. And human beings, relationships are complex, they're complicated. I understand that now, and I feel bad for how judgmental I used to be with the people who my wife and I, we would like meet some people and have great conversations, and then later on I would find out that that guy's on his second marriage or something, and I'd be like, man, I thought he was a good guy. Like as if going through a divorce made him a bad guy or something. It's like stupid. But I didn't know any better. um, Amateur superfan. I hella judge, then go back to the groom shop and be like, damn. Nice. Crystal, there to see it or not, we don't know how they really are in everyday life. Exactly. Exactly. And the thing is, even the people that you look up to, the people you think that are having such great lives and all this stuff, I bet you, I can almost guarantee, if you follow them home every night and see what really goes on, you know, then you might be surprised. You might be surprised. In fact, I think you will be very surprised. Because yeah, I mean, it's everyone has issues. Nobody is immune to the difficulties of life. It rains on the rich and the poor. The sun came up for all of us this morning, and the sun went down on all of us. You know, this is just how life is. No matter how happy you think someone is, no matter how successful you think someone is, I guarantee you, they're going through some difficulties too. They're going through some issues, some tests that life gives us all, right? And yeah, it's just, no one is immune to it. And I realize now, especially now that I know and I serve a lot of wealthy people, super wealthy people, and I see some of the things that they're dealing with, I'm thinking like, wow, when you have problems that money can't fix, now you got real problems. And I forget who said it. I think it was Grant Cardone or one of those guys. He said, if you have problems that that can be fixed with $30,000 or less, if you're dealing with something that can be resolved with $30,000 or less, you ain't got no problems. And I was like, wow. Well, then I guess I ain't got no problems. But yeah, seriously, like when you start to get to, and Malcolm Gladwell talks about this in his book Tipping Point, I believe, but there's a point of diminishing returns. So he said up to $75,000 a year. Once you earn about $75,000 a year, up to that point, life does get better. You're able to do things. You're not feeling scared anymore for the future. You're able to put money aside and plan for things. So up to 75 grand a year, life does get better. But he's saying then, and it might be a higher number now because the book was written, a while back. But let's just say 80 grand a year. Once you're making about 80 grand a year, anything past that, you start getting diminishing returns. You don't get any happier the more you make. And once you start dealing with problems that money can't fix, now you've got real problems. Amateur superfan. I had a client today who walked in and described how her dog died. Ain't no money in the world can replace that horrible experience. Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, life is hard on all of us. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how popular you are. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how famous you are, how many people in the world adore you. It doesn't matter, It's like that Britney Spears song, It's like she's so lucky, she's a star. But she cries in the lonely night thinking If there's nothing missing in my life, then why do these tears come at night? You know what I'm saying? It's like a profound song. I love that song. I mean, I think of that about that song often actually because it's true. You know, we think that being rich and famous is gonna bring us all this joy and happiness, and it's just gonna change our life. But Jim Carrey said he wishes everyone would get rich and famous so that they would realize that that's not where happiness is. They're not gonna find any happiness there, you know. And I think that's when real depression sets in. When you actually get everything you thought you wanted, money, fame, all of this stuff, and you realize you're no happier than you were before, you're still the same person. I think that's when real depression sets in, and that's probably why these celebrities, go in and out of rehab and stuff, because they're trying to deal with this, maybe this sadness, this deep disappointment that they're feeling, because now they have what everyone thinks they want, and they're still no happier than they were before. Happiness comes from within. It's an inside job. It doesn't come from anything outside of us. I can just imagine how it would feel being loved and adored by everyone in the world, but feeling so alone, and like no one really understands you, no one really gets who you are. That would be a terrible feeling, right? Millions of fans all over the world expecting you to be some kind of person, expecting you to be the person that you play on TV or something, but really they don't really know who you are inside. No one really gets you, and you feel so alone in a room full of people cheering your name. That's got to be miserable, you know. So, anyways, the point I'm making is that nobody is immune to the difficulties and the trials and the setbacks and the heartaches, the heartbreaks. Nobody's immune to this. We all have to go through it, and I think that's what makes life so meaningful and rewarding at the end, because life is meant to be difficult. Life is meant to be hard so that it will be rewarding in the end. It's like going to the theme park, to the amusement park, like Six Flags. And because you're scared to ride all these rides, acrophobia, all these rides, roller coasters, because you're so scared to get on them because it's so scary, and you don't want to, and then you just spend the whole day there doing other stuff, eating the snacks and stuff like that, overpaying for the sodas, and then you're done for the day and you're going back home now, and everyone in the cars talking about how exciting these rides were, and you're just sitting there like, well, maybe I missed out. Like maybe I should have just gone on those rides, even though it was terrifying, because, that's why we're here, right? We're here for that thrill, for the adventure, right? There's no point in trying to avoid the difficulties of life. That's the roller coaster, that's why we're here, to experience all of that, and at the end of this life, if we are like in some sort of afterlife, yeah, I could be like, dude, did you try the divorce ride? Holy crap, that was a scary ride, right? Oh my god, I thought I was gonna die. I almost did a couple times. It's like, wow. Did you try the falling in love ride? That was nice. Did you try the breakup ride? Oh man, that was it's like, after we're done with after our time here at the greatest theme park in the universe called Earth, we right now are in the greatest theme park in the universe, in our galaxy, and I recommend riding all the rides while you're here, riding all the rides you can, and feeling that terror, feeling scared, feeling like you're about to die. I'm gonna die, on the roller coasters, because that's what makes it so rewarding when we're done with our time here. Let's see here. Crystal Clear, they're unfulfilled by what they thought they wanted, but thought money could buy it. Amateur superfan Daniel Tosh once said that money can buy a jet ski, and just try to be sad on a jet ski. That's awesome. Daniel Tosh, world's greatest philosopher. I like that. Money can buy a jet ski, and just try being sad on a jet ski. That's awesome. Zig Ziglar, he said, money will buy you a nice bed, but it can't buy you a good night's sleep. I really like that. But yeah, I think it was Les Brown. He said, "Everyone says money won't make you happy." He was like, "Well, let me try it. Let me try it out. I'd like to at least try it. Give me some money and I'll let you know." But yeah, like money is important. And so there's this book called I Will Teach You to Be Rich that I just listened to on Audible, and he kept saying, "Do you want to be rich or sexy?" You know, and I was thinking, I think being rich is sexy, right? Because if you have enough money, a woman's gonna find something attractive about you. Les Brown gives the example. He was like, if you have enough money, then you don't have to worry about being attractive, because that's gonna make a lot of women feel attracted to you. He goes, she's gonna tell her girlfriends, he got earlobes like Denzel, honey. But yeah, I mean, it's true. Like, I think it's having that security, that stability. It makes you attractive to women. So yeah, he kept saying, like, do you want to be rich or sexy? And I kept thinking in my head, I think being rich is sexy, right? But anyways, I'm starting to rant now, but hopefully this was helpful, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Crystal, Amateur Superfan, Pinkie Pie, Lee, everyone who joined this podcast, and Terry Miller. And Terry, I'm so glad that pricing and that pricing story, my client's friend with the bakery, I'm glad that was helpful to you. But anyways, I gotta get going. I have to work tomorrow again, do it all over again tomorrow. So I will, very helpful. Thank you, Lee. Awesome. And I hope you're having a good night. Man, that power outage, it really sounds like it sucks that you're going through. Man, but again, you can get through it, Lee, right? We can all get through tough times. Um, Thanks to you. You're welcome, Pinkie Pie. You're welcome, Amateur Superfan. The Yoda of grooming. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know if that title is gonna stick. Brenda, good night, Brenda. Brenda and Crystal LaCroix. I mean, are you guys related? No, I don't know. Anyways, same last name. Maybe it's just coincidence. Lee says, we have power back. Awesome. Shoot, see, you got through it. It's all good, baby. It's all good in the hood. I don't know why I talk like that. I gotta stop. Anyways, good night, everybody. Thank you.